Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday we're back to doing odd jobs. See you in a minute. Now, in any given week there's always the odd little job that my better half wants done, and they're usually not worthy of a full video or anything, but sometimes I'll take a bit of video, and in this case I've just put 2 or 3 of them together. A bit of a collection of odds and sods again, but these are all pretty much themed on the happy wife happy life sort of idea, that if we can keep my better half in good temper, things will be much easier for everybody. So let's go and have a look at some of these jobs and see what we've been up to over the last few weeks. Right, so the first little job today should only be a quick one. My wife wanted some insoles cutting down to fit some shoes. Thought I'd have to actually make a template for that, but there are cutting guides on them. And they tell you to use scissors, but I think in this instance I'll use a sharp knife. So we get a new blade. Right, so for a size 4 it needs a cutting line B, which is good because at the back it just says A, D, E and G, but I'm assuming that's A2D. So I think what I'll do, just to get an idea of where I'm cutting to, because it's a job to see, just pop a marker pen on the actual line. Right, that's better. Let's see what I'm doing now. Let's see how these cut. That's the first one. Let's try them and see. Okay, yeah. Goes in there, okay. Right, do the other one, and hopefully some brownie points. Good. Just clean that off the marker pen, I think. Shouldn't be a problem because it's face down, but it wouldn't hurt. The permanent marker comes off with isopropyl alcohol anyway, so we'll just take that off. Just to avoid any chance of it being a problem. So the next little job was to sort out the mattress in our guest bedroom. It's a traditional sprung divan mattress, and it's not the most comfortable in the world, I don't think. We have had a memory foam topper on top of our bed for the last few years, but following lockdown, one of the first things we did was to go out and get a new memory foam mattress, and so that left us with the topper, which would normally just drop straight on top were it not for the fact that our bed's a king size and this is a normal double. So it was going to need a little bit cutting off it. I've got a pretty good idea on what sizes it needed to be, but first job was to just measure up the mattress, measure up the bed and see how much I'd got to cut off, and then it was I'd got to find somewhere within the house that I could cut this thing up, because to find a space that big that you can put piece of wood down and start and cut at a piece of foam is not that easy. I ended up taking it downstairs and putting it on the dining room table, but it's a bit of a handful. Taking it out of its bag, which was always a nightmare to get it back into, because it always seemed to be 2 or 3 inches too big to go in that surround, which will hopefully not be a problem when we put it back together, because it'll be 2 or 3 inches smaller than it is now. But really then just all I had to do was mark it out with a felt tip pen and then find a means to cut it. Now the best thing I've found to use with foam rubber is a bread knife. It leaves the least amount of ragging on the cut, and you can't normally get at it with a normal knife because it's quite thick, but I find the little serrated edge on the back of a bread knife just gives a really nice straight cut, and it's pretty easy to do. Just taking about 2 or 3 inches off the length, and then when that was done, same sort of thing off the width to get it down to the dimensions of the double bed, and then just take it all back upstairs again. Right, so there we are. That's the new topper in its covering, fitting onto the bed now properly. We can put all the covers back on, and that's now ready for the next guests. And my wife's finished the quilt that she was doing to replace the old one. It was getting a bit faded, so that's another of her little handiworks finished. So we're on to the next job. So having got the bed sorted and the insole sorted, next job to move on to was a little trinket box that my wife's got that had got broken. Right, I've got what I hope is a really quick little repair here for my wife, although these simple ones are very often the ones that go more wrong than anything. It's just a little trinket box she's got on her dressing table that the framings come adrift on. It's only been glued in with something like an Evo stick, but I notice there's actually some of the old glue still on it, that from when it was originally sold, I think. So I'm going to get that off first, and hopefully just a straightforward bit of Sino, the thick stuff, should get us sorted. Just get all this muck off first, give it a decent clean when it's done. The beauty of the mitre bond that I get from Screwfix is that it's quite thick. It's not always ideal. Sometimes you want something runny, but sometimes something thick is a better option. All I'm going to do is just pop a bit into that frame. Don't want to put too much in, because again it'll just squeeze out. Little blob here and there. It's the sort of thing that doesn't get a lot of handling. It's just like today when there was a bit of dusting going on. And then there's a bit on the side here. Then all we need to do is pop pop that on there and hold it. Pop that on there and hold it. We haven't put too much in that we're going to get squeeze out, so there's nothing to clean up. Let's see, give that a second or two. No, that one hasn't gone. That's it, that's caught it. Tiniest bit of squeeze on the bottom, but I can get that off. Just scrape that away with a knife. Oh no, it's come undone again. This one is failing. So we've got one over two. Let's try again. Let's put more glue on this time. Probably didn't quite get enough on. As I say, these are the ones that usually go spectacularly wrong. If the whole thing disintegrates on what was essentially quite a simple repair, but it doesn't work out that way. It's better. Decent fix on that, I think, now. There's as much old glue on it as new, but just pares it back a bit. Right, that's it. Good quick fix. Just give it a wipe out now. Get the isopropyl alcohol on it just to give it a quick clean up. Because it doesn't usually get, it might get a dust, but it doesn't get a clean out inside. And that's ready to be put back into use. Hopefully again with a brownie point or two as a result. What they say, happy wife, happy life, something. Right, back into service. Right, so there we are. We can she can walk around more comfortably. The bedroom, the guest bedroom's now finished and completed. That she wanted the blind and to do the quilt and get the bed sorted, so that's been done, and we've now got to a stage where she can put all the things away in the little box in the bedroom as well. So good little collection of things to get done. Hope it was of interest. Look forward to seeing you next time. We'll try and do something different then, and I'll see you then. Bye!